Who will win, Facebook groups or email lists? Throw your initial thought down in the chat while we're just getting ready and set up. In less than 2 minutes, we're going to start our live broadcast and recording of episode 23 of Client by Client. Cold Brew Gang, you know what to do. If you've had your coffee today, drop a fire emoji in wherever you're consuming this. And also let me know where you're watching. Would love to shout you out and just say hi. Episodes 1 through 12, I believe. Let me check my spreadsheet. Episodes 1 through 14 are now up in iTunes and Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You can get it. Hey, thanks for the love. I appreciate you. And your guys' comments afterwards when you're watching these replays and checking it out mean a whole ton. So I want to shout out to my replay viewers as well. I want to give you guys some love. My live folks, you know I love you. You know I enjoy having you here. We're going to get started here in just a second. And I'm going to share with you guys which to choose between, what makes the most sense, and then you're going to get my verdict about Facebook groups versus an email list for your online coaching business. And hopefully you'll be able to make a better decision for your marketing, for your community, and for your communication. Yeah, so I hope you're ready for that. We'll get started here in just about 30 seconds. Really starting to get this flow down. Might change this 2 minutes to a 1 minute. Give you a chance to come in, say hi, get situated, strap in, and be ready for the show's recording. You can also watch all of these on YouTube. They're in a list, in a podcast, a YouTube podcast list, and you'll actually be ahead of the audio feed. Small secret, probably won't say that again because I like when you guys are live. I want you guys to watch and to subscribe to the podcast. So maybe I'll just keep that in my pocket from now on. But that being said, let's hop in and let's bring this to life together. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. In the last episode, I shared with you exactly how to use story on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else stories currently are to either start getting clients or to get even more of them. I give you my best tips for how I use the story every single day. You could just study my story and how I do it, and I recommend doing the things that I do. And should you do it, and should your marketing and your target marketing be on point, you'll start getting clients through it or getting more clients. So be sure to backtrack one episode and check out that if you're trying to get more content out there, if you're trying to be more visible, and you want the easiest and low-hanging and also most effective way to be making content and to get that visibility. But in today's episode, we're having a showdown in between two forms of communication, between Facebook groups and email lists and email list building. If you don't get today's episode right, actually, let's pause that. So we're going to do a little showdown. What you're going to find out by the end of this is which is best for you and your business. Is it a Facebook group and community on Meta, on Facebook? Or is it having an email list that you can be writing emails to, marketing to, and communicating with? You're going to have enough information by the end of this to know which way to go and have enough data to be able to make an informed decision. If you don't get today's episode right, two major things happen. The first thing to happen, and you guys know that I'm a big fan of organic. We've had 3 or 4 episodes talking about basically don't do paid traffic, especially if you're below 30K. So a lot of you guys think I'm just like totally against it and all of that, but that's not what I'm necessarily against. What I am against is what will happen if you don't take today's episode to heart, which is you will always be at the mercy of social media and paid traffic. So maybe you're doing list building and maybe you're already running ads. Well, if you don't get today's episode right, you are always going to be at the mercy of them, dependent on them, and any algorithm changes they make. Should they ever lock you out of your account or slap you on the hand, say you're doing a no-no, and put you in timeout, you could be suspended temporarily or forever. And I have too many friends and colleagues who have online coaching businesses the same, if not bigger than mine, sometimes multiple factors bigger than mine, who have had their ads account shut down or their Facebook account hacked and not able to get access back, or not able to get access back for months, if not sometimes well over a year. The second thing that happens is that you will never own your most important. The second thing that happens is that you will never own your most important asset in your online business, which is your audience. And when you don't own that, and you lose access to it, or something changes, a new platform launches, a platform you're currently on and building your business on goes away, which, guys, we have seen time and time again. You will never be in a spot where you own just like the most important thing in your online business, which is your audience and your audience's attention. That out of the way, let's talk about why I wanted to make this episode and really why this is important to you to really understand the high level concept that I really want for you to walk away with. At the end of the day, but the beginning of this episode, both Facebook groups and having an email list provide essentially the same thing and essentially create the same effect that in your business makes you the authority, can be the difference between you and many other coaches, and can be the difference in between getting a couple clients every single month to getting a couple clients every single week. And that idea is that, and the effect that it creates is that you have your own stage. Is that when you master one of these forms, groups or lists, email lists, you now have a stage. You have a stage where when you talk, you have the attention of all the folks in the audience. So I want you to close your eyes and imagine like you're at an online, I want you to close your eyes and imagine like you're at a conference and you're at the front of the stage and there's a huge auditorium of people that are listening to you. That's what you get when you have a really well-engaged, well-oiled machine in the form of a Facebook group or in the form of an email list. Stage is the word I want you to underline in your mind and highlight, because that's what you get when you get this right. And hopefully at the end of it, you'll see all the ways that you can use it. Let's start by talking about groups, why you might want one, and then we can kind of get into debating about why you might not in versus email lists. Well, why I like groups is because Facebook, basically everyone has a Facebook account in the world. And while there are some people who are totally against it, with the right reason, they will totally reactivate or start a Facebook account if they don't have one. And so what I love about groups is it's a public space. And it, when done well, it essentially becomes a community where, like in group coaching, it gets stronger with each new member. So right now, you're working off of the sweat of your brow. It's your own, physical will and willpower of taking action to get clients. But when you have a community with each new member, it gets stronger. So when you imagine like hands in a circle, everyone, has their hand on top, but instead they're grabbing each other's hand. That's like the networking link that happens. And every member that you add to your group, it gets better and better and better. And it creates that community effect. And because it's a public space, this gives you a chance for you to create undeniable proof that you are a coach and the coach for them. And this could be single-handedly the reason why someone goes with you versus going to one of your competitors. It's the authority that you get from this effect, is that they might not know who you are, but if they join your group and it's popping, even with only a handful, a dozen or so members, but it's engaged and helpful and you are showing your expertise, well, you now have the proof over anyone else they might be considering. Now, there is an endless pit of people that you can always compare yourself to in groups that will be bigger and better than yours, but your prospects might not know those people or those groups. And although you might, and you think that everyone else in your market knows about them, that might not be the case. And so I like Facebook groups because it's a public space that has the opportunity, when done right, to become a community. And when you have a community, you'll have other members convincing other members to be joining your coaching program and to be joining your free group. And when you do that, you're going to get free prospects. What's also cool about groups is that you get the algorithm. And when your group is named appropriately, it's active, like you're posting in there a few times a week. What Facebook starts to do is that when it gets a handle on you and who the right members are for your group, it's going to now put your group in front of the right other people. And if you've ever ran a Facebook ad, or the Meta, now called Meta Business Suite, where you do your ad setup and all of that, it's extremely smart. In fact, a lot of folks, when they start running ads, they'll actually let Facebook determine where to put the ad and who to put the ad in front of versus telling it who, because it's really smart at doing that. And with all these new factors in the world now with like ChatGPT and basically artificial intelligence, like Facebook's had this for a while. Imagine what they can now do with all of these new things coming out and improvements on them already. So you get this algorithm juice, and like there are some groups that are just titled so appropriately and so niche that Facebook can put it in front of every single person in that space. And now you're going to be getting free group members joining your group free leads, essentially, right? Like leads that you don't have to pay for, leads that would cost you $2, $4, $6, $20 in the Facebook ad machine. With a group, you have the opportunity that if you run it right and if it's titled well and it has the members inside of it have similar commonalities to each other, Facebook can now put that in front of other people just like that. Another big advantage is that it gives you a public place to create proof. You guys heard yesterday on stories why I like sharing proof and to recycle your proof. And I think a Facebook group is also a great place for that. And because it's public, people can come and go. And people can come in and check the proof, and you can immediately go from a coach who randomly popped up in their DM or randomly popped up on their feed to becoming the coach that they're consuming all of their teachings from. They're downloading your worksheets, your workbooks. They're listening to your analogies, your stories, your trainings, and then they go to your podcast, they go to your website, they do all of these things. And now you went from them not knowing you to them considering working with you or inspiring them to actually reach out to book a call or to have a conversation with you. One of the things I don't like about groups is that you still don't own it. And that, while not enough of a caveat for me not to have a group, is enough where I could understand why certain business owners might consider not. I think that if you are committed to organic marketing and your prospects are on Facebook, which like they are, and a lot of coaches will be like, my prospects, I'm going after higher ones, are just not on Facebook. They're not on social media. Yes, they are. Are they there in a professional manner like they might be on LinkedIn? Maybe not. But are they on there personally? They absolutely are. So I guess like one of the caveats here is that you don't own it. And one of the downsides is that because it's the algorithm and because it's a news feed, a more modern digital news feed, Facebook also controls who, where, and when your posts get in front of your community members. So although you might be posting super juicy content, if Facebook doesn't deem it as that, or for whatever reason has made a change to the algorithm, which they can do on a minute-to-minute, hour-hour, day-to-day, week-to-week basis, it changes all the time, you might not get the kind of exposure that you might have previously gotten, but also that gives you the chance to have discoverability beyond what you're normally capable of, because if members are engaging and they are liking it and Facebook for whatever reason does favor that post, that can go a bit more quote unquote viral than an email can. And so the algorithm has its advantages and it has its disadvantages. You could, and I've seen this happen, guys. I've seen coaching businesses where their entire business is the Facebook group, is like where they get all of their leads from. Facebook changes one small thing, and now all of a sudden their posts go from hundreds of comments to barely any people ever reading it. And so if you aren't doing what Facebook wants you to do, which there is no guide that Facebook makes or gives you that says, here's what we want for you to do, then you're a little bit guessing and you're still going to be at the whim of them. So while the advantage of it is you get the algorithm, that can be a double-edged sword and can be one of the disadvantages. So that's a little bit about groups. Now let's talk about the email list. If you didn't already know, my background almost stems exclusively from three things: podcasting, copywriting, and email list building. Everything in my career, every service I've offered, everything I've learned, where I got my start, all of that has come back to one of those three things or the combination of them. So it's also it's no mystery why I podcast. It's no mystery why I create content and sales copy. And it's no mystery why I've been building an email list since 2010, 2011. So that being said, let's talk about email lists in conjunction to the Facebook group. Well, one of the biggest advantages of your email list is that you actually own it. And this is an important concept. When you have an email list, and this is important caveat if you're new to email lists, this is not Gmail and putting other people's emails in there and having a contact booked. This is using an ESP, which is an email service provider. A couple of them that are out there, Infusionsoft, ConvertKit, Drip, I think, is still one of them. They come and they go. They get acquired. There's been a bunch of them. MailChimp is probably one of the most basic, most popular ones in the world of the internet. But when you have an email list, even though you're paying for an account to do it, and I guess one of the advantages we have to circle back to is that Facebook groups are free for you to own and manage and run, but you're at the whim of Facebook. An email list is typically going to be a paid thing. Any service worthy of going to, you are going to have to pay for it. But you own the list and the information, the contact information that gets submitted into there. So if you have a website and you're asking for people's email address for an ebook or something like that, every time someone puts in their email, that automatically goes into your system. And then typically, it's very common that the email service provider, that ESP, can actually send a sequence of emails out. Not all of them and not all paid versions of them have this or good versions of it, but what it allows for you to do is you can export that list and take it with you. So if MailChimp ever shut down, you can kick out that email list as a CSV, it's a file type, and you can put that in Google Sheets to save it or back it up. You can take that and put it in a different email service provider and get better email deliverability or better features or functions, or if they ever go insolvent or they go away with the company, you keep that. Facebook could completely ban you out of your account. You don't get anything. You get F all, basically. But with an email list, you own that list, and you could manually write emails and notes to those people and send them off individually if you needed to. Or if, God forbid, something ever happened to your business and everything got closed or seized, or a business partner took all the money out of the accounts, changed all the passwords and so on, if you have that list backed up, you have a way to now get in contact with all of those people. And so versus a Facebook group, you don't own it, but you get some advantages. An email list, you have to pay for, and you have to pay a monthly service fee. You also get to own that and to keep that. The second great part about an email list is that, like, when you think of email and the email inbox, everybody has that. It is arguable there are some people that don't have a Facebook account. A second ago, I said everybody has Facebook. That's a broad statement. Everybody who is considering having a Facebook has to first have an email address, right? And so everybody has an email. And when you think about the email inbox, it's one of the most private and personal coveted things. And if you don't think that is the case, then open your email the next time you're sitting on an airplane or on the train or in a very public space, or look over the shoulder of someone who's in their email inbox and watch how quickly they might look at you like mind your own damn business, or they turn off or hide their screen, or you would probably want to do the same. We are communicating with any bill that we're getting with now inside of email. Any brands that we're associated, affiliated with, or that we look up to, they're getting a hold of us through email. And you right now probably started your day out, maybe even before going on social media or in that same flow, checking your email inbox. The most important correspondence now comes through email, not through snail mail. And so everybody uses it, and the email inbox already has the attention. And what I do like is that right now, still, there is no algorithm to email. With the one-off case of like Gmail kind of having that a little bit, it's really not all that different from other email service providers. There is a junk folder and promos and things like that. And yeah, if you do spam and people aren't opening your emails, you have the chance to be invisible, but they can still search. And when you do email well, and you make a routine and are frequent with the emailing of your list with value, oftentimes your subscribers to your email and your newsletters and your list, which is all the same thing, just different ways of saying it, will go and seek out your email if they miss one. And they will go through their junk folder, their promo folder, find you and drag you out if you're sending them value. If you're not, then you don't deserve that. And you deserve to go to spam and to promos and to never be seen again. But if you're sending value, talking about pains and problems, offering solutions, and making juicy offers, your prospects will go and search and say, why haven't I heard from this person? And go and find that email and drag it out. And I know you've done that before when an email is important to you. Yesterday, I signed up for an app from Ghost. It's like a supplement company. And I recently started checking out their energy drinks. I bought a box of their energy drinks, cherry limeade, fire, amazing. They had basically I was on TikTok, and a piece of content from Ghost came up, and it said, download our app and you can, it was like basically, we're going to drop a new energy drink and we'll give it to you free, and you can secure it if you're one of the people when we announce it through the app. So go sign up for the app. So I got the app, signed up for an account, got the email. I say all that to say that I go to my inbox and the email's not there. I go to junk and it's there. So I drag it out and I put it in inbox because I don't want to miss my free energy drink. And I became more of a fan of Ghost, just being in their app and seeing all the stuff they have. I'm going to spend some time later on this evening or afternoon checking out in there because I saw they have a canine thing. We got 2 puppies here. I don't know if it's dog collars or they're making puppy protein. I don't know what it is, but they had recipes for how to use their stuff. And they had all these other energy drinks that I hadn't even heard of that now I'm excited to check out and try. So if we take that as a case study, and I know you don't sell energy drinks, neither do I, but if we take that as a small sample and a case study, if you are talking about things that are interesting and talking about which people's problems and pains are very interesting to them and very personal to them, they will go to their inbox and seek you out and say, I'm going to come back later and I'm going to check out their group. I'm going to check out this resource they had. Okay, I'm going to flag this so that I can come back to it later. And they will, just like I did yesterday with this Ghost Energy drink. And their only offer was get a free can that's $2.50 that I'm so not worried about when they have a new energy drink that comes out. That was their offer. Think about your offer and solving painful problems people are going through. You think they're going to be likely to go through that and then dive through more of your stuff like I did in this example? 100%. Lastly, when it comes to a list, or at least kind of in summary, last part here when it comes to lists, not that you can't make offers in your group, but offers to an email list are always going to be a bit more personal because on Facebook, anyone can communicate with anyone. Yeah, they can through email too, but they're signing up and unsubscribing from, at the same time, email lists and newsletters that don't bring them value. If you're bringing them value and you're building anticipation around your offers, which you can also do in groups, and I know some groups that do this really well, some better than others, you are far more likely to land high-ticket clients with an email list than a group, in my opinion. That's not going to carry over. That's my opinion. If you have a huge group, like my group is under 1,000 people, but if you had 100,000 people, you probably might have a little bit more trust than what my members might have or what the members in your group might have. And so you can make offers to them. And because you own it, Facebook can't ever slap you in the hand for sending them emails. And also, so Facebook can't ever slap you in the hand and say, stop making offers. Whereas in email, you kind of have free will to do what you want, but your reputation, just like on Facebook in the real world, will be on the line. When you send out an email that goes through servers, and if enough people say you're spam and unsubscribe and move you to the junk folder, then over time your reputation with the ESPs start to not be as strong, and so your emails get delivered less, and they'll quote unquote bounce more, not make it to the inbox. But there are ways around that and ways to strengthen that. At the end of the day, your best bet with both of these is to be talking about interesting things that solve people's pains and problems on both. And that way you don't ever compromise your relationship either way. But I just think that the offer is going to be stronger from your email list because you can include links, whereas Facebook might not like that. And yeah, email servers and all that sort of stuff might not like that as much. But if your audience likes you enough, email list, I think, is just a deeper form of communication than the Facebook group. And I think it sets you aside in comparison. And while you might not be as visible on Facebook, I think that visibility on Facebook comes with equal invisibility if you're boring, or if you have there's a certain threshold of members where a certain amount of them will not see certain posts. Whereas with email, you get, I think, treated a bit more equally, and you have a chance to set yourself up for some more success. So as you guys can see, the pros and cons are about equal. And both of these has their advantages and both of these have their disadvantage. And I have opposing info and opposing instruction for you if you're just starting out, because I like that Facebook has the algorithm, whereas an email list doesn't. In fact, I've directed very few of my students to go and start an email list, where I've directed more of them to go and start a Facebook group, because if their prospects are on Facebook, let's just build a little ecosystem there, and then we can bolt on the email list to it. But if you have an email list and your prospects are on Facebook, I think that's a great addition to and an amazing way to build your email list. Here's the way I look at it at the end of the day. My Facebook group is a way for me to add value, to become the authority, but more importantly, to start the conversation and to be there when my prospects are ready. And in email, I can deepen that conversation even more, make those same offers, nurture them maybe even better, and I own it at the end of the day. So which is better? In my opinion, the email list is better, but both is best. And that's why I leverage both of them in my online business and why I'm such a fan of both of them. If I could only choose one, I would hands down choose the email list, and having and building an email list and having email list subscribers than being at the whim of Meta. Like I said, an email list is better, but both is best. I hope this is helpful for you guys, and I hope this helps you to understand which might be best for you in your decision. So I want to know in the chat, in the comments, or hit me up on Instagram, which of them do you use, or are you going to consider using forward? If I had it my way, long term would be an email list. And I think I meant to say this a second ago. Facebook groups are an amazing way to build an email list and a door in. But it's like Facebook is getting you in the house, and the actual house is the email list. In the next episode of Client by Client, I'm going to be sharing with you what to do once you got the bag. You just made your 15K, you just had your 30K month. Now what? We're going to be talking about what to do when you actually get the money so that you don't go off and make decisions that prevent you from making that consistently, making that again and predictably, and instead you'll be more empowered and more equipped and just more ready to accept that money in and have everything that you need to know for what to do with the money and then what to do next. So the title of it's going to be You Hit 15K, Now What? Whenever you are ready, here are 3 ways I can help you grow your online business. First, get my free CRM for online coaches. Coaches, if you want leads and to turn them into clients in half the time, I made the tool for you. It's called GetBookedCRM, and right now it's 100% free. All you have to do is find me on Instagram or comment wherever you're listening or watching to this with the letters CRM, and I can get you a copy of that, and you can start to manage your leads. And if you don't have a CRM, what are you doing? You're missing out on clients, you're missing out on leads, and you're most definitely missing out on a lot of money. So get your copy now. Find me on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and message me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got almost 1,000 of them inside of my Facebook group, and it's where I post my weekly trainings. You get access to me, access to others, and it's just great to be around others who are a step ahead of you, working through the same problems and steps that you're at right now, or just one small step behind. You can see the questions that they're asking. You can ask questions and get access to me and the other members. All you have to do is drop the word group or message me the word group on Instagram, and I'd love to get you inside of there, or you could just search Leverage Coach on Facebook. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to add a minimum of 15K in revenue in the next 30, 60, 90 days, or to double your coaching client roster, but I'm very picky about who I work with. So this is only for you if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 1 year, or you're not just super brand new to coaching. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients every single month organically from Facebook or Instagram without paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on Facebook or Instagram or social platform, or members in a group or subscribers on a list. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success is dependent upon it.